Hello everyone and welcome back. This is a continuing video in our series on the 2024 election where I give you my thoughts and analysis on the race as it goes on. Today, I'm going to be giving my analysis on the first Republican presidential primary debate. As I'm recording this, it was held 2 days ago. In Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which will be the site of the Republican National Convention in July of 2024. So 11 months from now as I'm recording this. Much like in 2016, in August of 2015, the Republicans held their first debate in Cleveland, where a year later they held their national convention. Obviously in 2020, the Republicans had an incumbent president, and you don't debate primary challengers when you're an incumbent president. You just don't. So they didn't have primary debates last year. The Democrats, in 2020. It's been a long time. In 2020, the Democrats, because they were the party out of power at the time, held debates for their presidential nominating contest. 8 of the 9 leading candidates appeared on stage. The leading candidate, former President Donald Trump, did not appear, and he counter-programmed with a pre-recorded interview with former Fox News personality Tucker Carlson. The debate grew a pretty healthy audience, around 12 million viewers, which is a much larger audience than Fox News was expecting. I think there were 2 big winners of the debate. Nikki Haley, in my opinion, was far and away the biggest winner of the night. Haley really went after Vivek Ramaswamy on his foreign policy positions and staked out a really strong stand on supporting Ukraine and challenging Vivek Ramaswamy and DeSantis' isolationist positions. And second, another big winner, I think, was Vivek Ramaswamy. I believe that Ramaswamy is a candidate who is designed and supported by people who want to see Donald Trump get the nomination. And his goal is to drive support away from Ron DeSantis, because that's the candidate that the Trump forces and team fear the most. And, Ramaswamy's running to DeSantis' right. If that is even possible, he is doing it. And he did a really good job of trying to get the voters that DeSantis has been angling for. And, DeSantis has had a downward trajectory in the polls really since he announced his candidacy. DeSantis probably got in the race 5 months too late. DeSantis' time to get in would have been late December, early January. Yeah, it would have looked terrible. He just ran for re-election of governor of Florida, but he announced in May that he was running for president. So, who knows? But DeSantis has had a downward trajectory in the polls, a lot of self-inflicted wounds that the candidate has had. But Ramaswamy was going for those voters that maybe can't vote for Trump in the primary, but man, they love them some Ron DeSantis. And he's running to basically push DeSantis out of the race. And I think DeSantis had, of course, DeSantis' team is talking about how he has raised a lot of money off of this debate, but I don't think it was a good performance. He did this several times, the finger wagging, and he just seemed very frazzled on many questions. He didn't answer several of them directly. And it was not great. Another thing about Vivek Ramaswamy was that he, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing his name. That is not intentional if I'm mispronouncing it. He was the candidate that Nikki Haley went after the most and that Mike Pence went after the most. And that is actually a smart position to take. That is what I would have advised my candidates to do. I would have been like, you don't go after DeSantis. He's already on a downward trajectory. He's yesterday's news. You've got to go after Mr. Ramaswamy. He is on an upward trajectory. So you've got to really try to take the wind out of his sails. Do I think Donald Trump's going to show up at the forthcoming Republican debates? I think by October he probably will. I think it will gnaw at him enough. And, you know, there was a poll afterwards that showed that he had some voters that lost some support. He took a step back, and voters are possibly considering taking a second look after this debate. And also, I don't really see any more indictments coming down to where Trump can surrender to authorities the next day after the debate and basically mothball all the coverage of the debate. And that is why Trump turned himself in when he did, was to overtake the coverage of the debate. There's possibly one more indictment probably coming down from New Jersey in relation to the documents case. There might be another one in D.C., a superseding indictment related to January 6th, but I don't see that. There may be a couple state charges in Arizona, Michigan, Wisconsin. But you know, Trump loves being the center of attention. And by him not showing up to these debates, the attention will be on other people. And I think it will gnaw at him. So I think by the third debate, Trump will show up. And that is supposed to be in the state of Alabama. And reportedly, it's going to be at the University of Alabama. And Alabama is a state that Trump has a lot of support in. And has always done really well holding rallies and events there, so he could hold a rally in conjunction with the debate, you know, before or after the debate. Big winners of the debate was Nikki Haley and Vivek Ramaswamy. I think Tim Scott had a pretty poor performance. I think he needed a standout moment, and I don't think he had it. So that's my overall thoughts. And I think by the third debate, Trump will show up. And then we will see at that point whether or not this Trump support in the poll is just familiarity, or if it is really Trump's party and these other candidates are just running for vice president or cabinet positions. My overall thoughts were Nikki Haley and Vivek Ramaswamy carried the night for the Republicans. I think this race right now it looks like a pretty easy re-election at this moment for the incumbent president, President Biden. And I think that there's a real possibility that he expands his electoral majority. Donald Trump's legal problems are stacking up in a significant way and will become a significant hindrance on his campaign as we go on. That's my thoughts as of August. I've not done a video on a couple of people who've entered the race since my last video. I may do it on some of them, but they need to pique my interest whether or not I consider them a major candidate. So I'll see y'all then. Have a good night.